Okay, to start with the video, I want to apologize to any of you guys that are trying to follow along with the guide as I was making it. I know it's been a huge gap in time between this episode and the next episode, or last episode. I just want to go in real quick. I'm sorry. Okay, at the beginning, I wanted you guys to get Camilla. It's the first part of the guide. And in order to do that, you had to wait for a weekly reset. So I was like, okay, I'm going to give it a couple days. What ended up happening was there is a mission that is Guild Wars. Okay, you have to complete a Guild War for your Path of Air. And I was trying to time this up right. Monday, we weren't able to join the Guild War on Monday because whatever happened. I don't remember what the reasoning was. And then on Tuesday, my internet went out. It came back Wednesday night at like 8 p.m. and I didn't have enough time to do the Guild War. I was struggling to catch back up with everything. And then this week it happened again. So I didn't get to log into any of these accounts for 2 days because I didn't have internet. And with that, my account wasn't linked, so I couldn't get on this account on another thing. I just couldn't open the game because I didn't have internet. And then from there, I got back into the game, and there were people that hadn't logged in to the game for a couple days. And if you don't log into the game for 3 days, you get kicked from your guild. So I went through, kicked some people from my guild. One of those people was one of the towers, which made it to where I couldn't join Guild War today. So I'm trying my best, but I'm going to go through this episode, get everything I can, but just know we can't progress through the missions through this episode. At the beginning of next episode, it'll have to be Monday as the earliest I'll be able to get it out, because that's when I can do the Guild War fight, or Sunday night, I guess it will be. So I'm sorry again. Just know life kicking my ass right now, but hopefully this episode of the guide will help you. If you're already ahead, great, but let's go ahead and jump into this part of the guide. What is up, guys? It's Mitchell or Deity, and welcome to part 7 of the guide. Those of you guys that have been waiting for this and are following along as I'm making it, I'm sorry. I couldn't do much of anything. I didn't link my account to a stove address, and I was not able to even open the game. My internet was down for days. I've had a lot of issues, okay? But we're going to go ahead and get into this. A lot of you guys are already ahead, but at least you'll have some kind of guidance. But those of you guys that are following along later down the road with the guide series, it'll be perfect because you don't have to worry about there being a delay between episodes. So let's go ahead and the first thing I left, or that we're going to get into, that I left off of from the last guide, is I wanted you guys to go in and make sure you unlock the character in your connections, Camilla. Okay, so Camilla down here, you want to make sure you got her. That is going to be one of our key PvE units. I'm going to go over our PvE teams as to who we need to build up and who you should start working on and getting ready. Now, you won't be utilizing all these teams all the time, but I want to at least get you everything set up. So that is the first step of this. I will come back in just a second and show off each different part of the characters that you will need. What is up, guys? This is Mitchell or Deity. Sorry for the delay on this episode. I had internet issues, so you guys are following along in the future, you won't have any problems with this. You guys have been waiting. Hopefully you've gone ahead and looked up other guides and figured out how to get your account further, but you can go in and watch along with this if you want to see the different things I suggest, just to make sure you're caught up for the later episodes. But now everything's working again. The first thing we want to talk about is what I left you guys off on last episode, and that was going to be going in and getting the character Camilla. So you wanted to make sure you did all the challenges for this. A lot of you will already have her. I already had her, so I didn't bother messing with the challenges. Plus I literally could not really open the game. If I tried to click on anything, it just had a spinning icon, and I didn't have my account links, so I wasn't able to do anything. So one big thing is make sure you link your account to something, so just in case the main source you're playing it on doesn't work, you can play it on your phone or whatever. Big mistake by me, and again, I'm sorry everybody that was waiting. But now, once you have Camilla, I'm going to go over a couple of characters that I want you guys to start getting leveled up. You need your Camilla and your Lilka to 5-star, and the other character I want you guys working on and trying to go up and finish. You don't have to do it right away. You can do it throughout as you get to certain points and are kind of farming a little bit. I want you guys to go in and finish your Commander Lorena. Okay, go ahead, get her up to level 30, start your specialty change. I believe I talked about this in an earlier episode. We will be using her for a lot of Abyss, and we're going to be using her on one of our Expedition teams. So Expedition is a type of content that cycles out. I'm going to give you the 5 different teams today, and you'll just build whichever ones you need to do for that month's expeditions. It's super simple. We're using almost all free-to-play characters. One character is a 3-star. You have to summon off banner. Her name is Lilka. Other than that, you'll have everything you could possibly need. Super easy. But go ahead and unlock her, and then you are going to have to farm dark rooms to level up her skill tree. You want to max out her skill tree. That is one of the things we're going to be working on. But the other 2 characters, again, I'm going to show them real quick, and then we'll go into the progression, and I will go ahead and take a little pause in a moment to show the different teams. So I want you to get your Camilla up to 5-star and 5-star awakened. And then I want you to get the character Lilka. I told you guys to lock one of every character you've gotten. If you haven't gotten Lilka, it's not a big deal. You will get her eventually on one of the banners you summon on, but make sure you save 1 copy of every individual character in this game, including the 3-stars, just for convenience sake. You never know when one of these characters is going to get buffed. I always say that. But get her up to 5-star awaken. These characters will be very easy to build. One of the things with our PvE teams is, now going into the next part, we will take a moment and I'll show all the expedition teams. But the thing I want you to do, we ended on Path of Air 42. You need to clear Abyss 80, complete arena. That's where I'm currently at to start this. We're going to go step by step through everything. I got Lua on the 5-star ticket and Rise of the Monarch. Not a bad artifact if I can get the character that's good for. But the next mission is going to have clear expedition 3 times. Now I'm going to go ahead and go into that section in just a second, set up all the teams and show you guys what you will need to do for them. And again, your gear will end up getting moved constantly over the beginning of your account, but as you get all this free gear here, and there's a bunch more free gear you're going to be getting throughout this, plus the free gear from events, you will have all your characters built up to do all of PvE, and you'll start moving some of this gear over to PvP to finish up builds and maneuvering gear around as you go. So give me 1 second, I'll be back to show the expedition teams. Okay, so depending on when you start up X7, there are going to be different rotations of 5 different bosses within Expedition. Expeditions are super important. I've talked about them before. Doing the basic, just clearing X amount of them per month. It resets each month. You have to earn points throughout the month. Once you beat a stage, you get so many points. So once you get all the rewards from this, that's fantastic. It will be a lot of benefit to your account. The premium supply pass, I do not recommend buying at all. It is decent value, but for 1,500 Skystones or free-to-play player, it's too expensive. Even if you're a spender, it's honestly too expensive. I never bought it. I think I bought it one time. But the value of items you get is okay, but for the overall resource you gain within the game, if you want to summon on characters and make better progression, I do not ever suggest buying the premium supply pass. Now, with going through your expeditions, what we're going to do for this first part is just beat the basic level of them. Okay, just go in and beat level 1s. That's what we're going to do to continue. At the end of this video, I will go in and show builds on all of these characters. Now, these are the teams. Your Fire Expedition, you can use Brieg, Tamarin, Camilla, Lorena. Okay, this team will work fine. Honestly, you don't even need a 4th character here. You can use anyone in replacement for Camilla. The main 3 are these 3. They will hard carry and do like 600,000 damage. The thing is with Expedition, the more damage you do, it honestly hurts other players. You want to do it for one of the missions. You want to have a good team. But once you beat it once with high score, it's not worth doing. Just do it. Open it for everybody else to go do. It helps the community out. It is definitely best to do. Even just 400,000 damage on Expedition is perfect. So we're not going to invest a ton of resource into this with that in mind of trying to keep the player base having more expeditions to do by not doing too much damage personally. Now, next up, we have our Water Expedition. So where Loka comes into play. You can trade out Tamarin for multiple other characters, but she will work to get the amount of points needed. And then Vivian. The thing is, put Vivian in the back line. I actually don't think it matters, but Loka will increase the character's combat readiness with the highest attack, which the boss puts your highest attack character in the back line as much, or all the way down 0 combat readiness. So you need Loka to boost her back up. This is just the easiest team you can possibly do. If you want to trade Vivian out for another grass unit, you can, but this team should work no problem whatsoever. And occasionally, as long as you beat and get 350,000 on one run, which means maybe you can manual one of the times, you can go in and just auto it. If you do 200k on a run, it's fine. Your expedition will get cleared once you enter open expedition. Next up, we're going to have the grass version. Grass version, you want non-single target attacks. This is one you guys can experiment and use whatever characters you want. Usually your Moonlight 5 you took at the beginning. Arbiter Vildred's great here. Spectre Zebra is okay. She gets the job done. And then a character like Mercedes that has a double hit on her skill 1 and AoE attacks on her skill 2 and 3 are fantastic here. And this is one of the main reasons we wanted to get a Raz boosted up, is he is 1, great for PvP later, and 2, he will work great here. Tamarin isn't the best here again, but she works. She will get the job done. This team is great, but any character you see that has multiple AoE target attacks, Green Vildred, Arbiter Vildred, Wukong has AoE attacks. I don't really have any others within this that would be too good, but any character that hits 2 targets minimum on their skill 1 would be fantastic. So, but Fire Mercedes is a free-to-play option. You can build her up. After you beat Chapter 3, she will get a transformation, which makes her even stronger. So she's just a safe free-to-play option, and she can be used for some other PV as well. Next up, our Light Expedition. This is just the simplest team. You just bring Camilla, Brieg, Sirmia. You want characters that buff themselves. Having the dual attack of her is fantastic, pairing up with your Sirmia, and this team will do fine. Okay, this is, you do not bring a healer to Light Expedition. You are not able to heal your other party. Characters can only apply buffs and heals to themselves, so do not bother with the healer. Your characters will heal as they do damage. This will get you the score needed, no problem. Again, we will go over builds at the end of this video because I want you guys to follow my crafting guide and do a crafting session and start learning learning crafting. I will show you some gear you could buy that will make this easy, but I'm going to try to get you into, again, try crafting at least once just to get the feel for it, and then I'll give you the cheat code that you can go and do, potentially buy all the pieces you need from the Conquest Point shop. Next up, we have the Dark Expedition. This one's super simple. Brieg, Tamarin, Camilla, Sirmia. It's going to be fantastic. This team obliterates Dark. So Dark and Fire are going to be your two strongest. The other ones will do plenty of damage. So that's a list of characters you need to have built and make sure you're working on. Other than that, that is the expedition. I want you for now, if you want to mess with that, maybe you guys are already ahead of me and have, but otherwise go in and just do 3 expeditions. If you have to go farm some Wyvern or whatever to unlock more expeditions, go ahead, do that. But just get through your 3 expeditions. I'm just going to do, again, level 1s, go in, and I will change my teams up to have the basic team to use for each of them of whatever characters I currently have built up, and it will do just fine. So I know I have my Spectre Tenebria built, and then Free Spirit Tyria I know has gear on. So I'm just going to run with this for now, but at the end of the video, we will have all these teams set up, at least very close, and then if we have to farm a specific one, move the gear. But again, it's only 3 per month that you have to worry about, which is really nice. So you don't have to have these characters built always, but eventually you'll have the gear on. It's PvE, you can put lower tier gear on them, and it's fine. So I'll meet you back here once you complete the 3 expeditions, and we'll move on to the next missions within the Orbis Guide. Explore, battle, and do a fight. A lot of people will be stuck. I'm stuck here right now because at the time recording this, just the guild died. Kicked some people from the guild, and we didn't have somebody on the towers, so it didn't get us into the guild war. This part could be very annoying for some of you, especially on weekends. If you're playing during the weekend, you cannot get past this mission, which is very, very frustrating. Now, that's okay. I'm going to still go ahead and talk about all the stuff that I want you to do. So once you're able to do that guild war, fantastic, but let's pretend you didn't, and we're going to work ahead. Those of you guys that did get done, it's even better. You're going to get these rewards as you go. But you want to enhance hero skill 3 times, you can go to any of your heroes, whether it's your Vivian, your Sirmia, your Camilla, any of those characters are great. So for this, I'm going to go ahead and go to my Camilla, and the thing with that summoning, you will get, once you do the guild war, the summon. But for your Camilla, the only thing we need to do on her is go to skill enhance. Her skill 3 has no cooldowns, which is fantastic, so I don't need to worry about that. What we want to worry about is this skill 2. Having the cooldown on this is fantastic. It'll help her rotate turns even faster, so make sure you go ahead and do this. And the next character that we want to get some skill ups on is going to be our Commander Lorena. Okay, so I wanted you guys to go get Commander Lorena. Again, you do want to go into her skill tree. You will want to farm a bunch of dark runes. You want to boost up everything within this. Okay, that's something I'm going to be working on, but go ahead and get this all done. We'll worry about gearing her again toward the end of this video. We're going to do a crafting session. There's plenty of stuff we can do, but starting on the next episode of the guide, that's when we'll need you guys to be past the Guild War section to where you can start claiming the rewards, and we're going to be taking that gear, putting out other characters. But for now, I'm stuck on it until, well, a while. Okay, it'll be a little bit on part 8, but at least I can guide you from here. Now, Commander Lorena is the second one. You are going to end up skill upping all of Commander Lorena's skills over time. The most important is the skill 1. That is the skill that's going to be hitting the most often. So the skill 1's great. The skill 2 is also just as important because it's going to give you an increase in stats every time you attack. So skill 1 and 2, most important. Skill 3, final importance, but you're going to want to have her plus 15. She's a 3-star character, which means no Mologora, and you will use her for so much of your Abyss content. Definitely a character you want to start working on. Okay, so now that we did the skill enhancements, again, if you're able to do the Guild War, fantastic. Otherwise, you can just start working ahead. It's okay. Now, the next mission is going to be complete hero special change 1 time. That'll be, you've already done it. You did Raz, but once you do Lorena, that will also count for that. And then you need 8 heroes awaken to 6-star, which you've seen all of it. We've done 6 different characters. Lorena, I believe, would have been your 8th or 9th. Next up, we have to clear episode 3, chapter 10. Then we have to enhance equipment 5 times and complete arena 5 times. All these are super easy missions, but if you wanted to do them ahead of time, you have to wait for like the arena completions until you get to that section. But just know that you still want to do your arenas. But what we need to do is clear episode 3, chapter 10. That's our next goal. That's going to give us these selectors. I'm going to talk about what to grab from the selectors. The artifact selector is the worst selector in the game. There's nothing really good in here. I'll give you a couple options that you could take if you have a specific character. Otherwise, this doesn't matter. You could just let it expire and it's not going to hurt anything. Don't do that, but it's so no importance that don't worry. I mean, just grab whatever you want. But the hero selector, I will go over the top picks for it. So now with this, though, we want to go through story. There's a couple hard stages. Currently in the story, I am on the beginning of chapter 10. So with the beginning of chapter 10, there was a Mort fight. Those of you guys have Spectre Tibria, what you need to do is fight and save up enough souls until you can soul burn your Spectre Tibria 4 times. You need to have crit chance, and you soul burn Spectre Tibria 4 times in a Mort. It'll break him, and then you hit him one more time. So the thing with Mort, you have to get him down to enough HP to where he procs in that final phase, and then you have to crit him 4 times in a row. The easiest way to do that is the character with extra turns. That's one of the big reasons I suggest Spectre Saber early game. Yes, you can beat it with other characters. You might have to get creative. You can also use the reset function, which is something also on the final boss here that you can do, but we'll go through the final boss together as well for chapter 3, just so any of you guys are struggling, we'll be able to beat it. But so now we're going to go ahead and I'm going to clear all this up until I get to the end of that. My current story clearing team is set as my Wyvern team because I renamed all of these teams, because at the end of the video we're going to go over all that. But I'm going to go ahead through and I will meet you guys back here once I am finished up with this batch of missions and get to the final boss. I'm rambling. We'll be back. Okay, so once you have gotten to this mission, this is the end of chapter 3. I do not use Mort for this stage, so if any of you guys struggle with it, it's not too bad, but I am going to go ahead, take my Raz, and put him on the gear for Brig. So go ahead and slap this all on. My Destina is currently on the second free HP set we got mixed with some of the other pieces. So I am going to be using Destina as well. I've been using her to go through story to get 3-star on every stage. That's one of the things I mentioned you can do, but it does make it much, much slower, which again is part of why everything's taking so long with making, especially when the stages won't load. But let's go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and switch Brig out for my extra character. I want to bring some kind of damage dealer. Is there any Arbiter Vildreds? There is. We're going to take this guy's Arbiter Vildred, and I'm going to go ahead and switch Raz out for Brig. So from here, we should have a good enough team. The idea is we want to utilize Raz's skill 2 as much as possible. The idea is he'll get the defense break with the double hit because she will constantly be getting her skill nullifier, which is super, super annoying. And any non-attack skill that you do ends up just hurting you. So I'm going to go ahead and just attack the dogs and the orbs for the beginning. I'm going to go and put defense buff up right away, but I'll just show you the beginning of the fight, and then I'll come back toward the end and show you what all I do. So that'll get countered there. I'm going to go ahead and heal. If you look, every time you use a heal, it's going to boost, I believe. It did not boost, so you're safe to use heals. I couldn't remember if that was the case or not, but I'm just going to go ahead and, again, attack the mobs at the beginning as much as possible. It doesn't really matter if you kill them. Just hitting Bellion just doesn't really do anything for you. So going in, now I'm going to go ahead and use the skill 2. Later on, when you do use a non-attack skill, she will silence you, and it does end up hurting you. It is very annoying whenever this happens. As you see, the Raz is going to have I'm not going to be able to use the skill 2 here, or else it's going to be on cooldown, so we're just going to go ahead and just keep attacking. Our overall goal is just to build souls. Our team is super tanky and impossible to kill. Once we get Tamarin able to transform, we can go through a bunch of multi-attacks, which is massive for us. So Bellion will attack again, and we're stunned again. So from here, the idea is you would be getting the dual attack, and it's going to put immunity on your backline unit, allowing them not to get stunned, which is massive. But for right now, again, just worry about building up a little bit of souls, attacking the mobs in the front, and then we'll go through one big rush for damage to get her. There are 3 phases of this fight as well. So go ahead, he gets hit twice. She's going to go, and Spectene didn't get stunned. We finally got a resistance. So eventually you will get a resistance. So right here we can transform, and this is where we start slamming. So we have a little bit of souls. We have 1 soul. That's all we need. As you see, at the end of each turn, Bellion's getting that skill nullifier back. She got it again. But now we can go ahead and burn into her. Spectre Chinibra is going to get the dual attack, and that's just a ton of damage. As you see, 40,000 damage there. So from right here, I'm just going to go ahead and skill 1 the doggo. And then Spectre Tibria can't attack anything, so I'll hit the orb again, try to get some damage on it. So dog will go again, and now we can dual attack the Bellion one more time and get the Spectre Tibria dual hit. And it's going to almost be that next phase, but we can, right here, you have the option to either trigger that next phase if you want, or you can try to build souls again. I'm going to go ahead and just trigger the phase. So we'll attack into it, and that's going to, yeah, so there we go. Once you're at 70%, triggers the next phase. And then from here, the last phase, the hard one, I'm going to go ahead and click this just so I remove all the debuffs on my characters. That's why Destina is nice. Plus, it gives you a revive option just in case things go really south. But your overall goal right now is to get Bellion's shield gone. You need the shield gone, so that way I believe she gets some kind of extra ability. So I'm just going to go ahead and use the skill 1 here just to get the extra damage while I can on Tamarin's last form. And then from right here, we are at a point we do have souls again, so I'm going to go ahead and skill 2 into the Bellion. Soul Burn gets a defense break, and we hit for a ton of damage. I'm going to go and heal up here just to test this phase for you guys. So second phase, as you see, I get silenced. The last phase is going to have bombs, so you want to use as few non-attack skills as possible. But that was perfect. I had her right at the damage edge. So she's going to go ahead and hit us. We do have a turn cooldown on her Destina, but from right here, she has counterattack buff, which makes Spectre Saber super good, but Raz's skill 1 will break that, so I'm going to go ahead and skill 2 again right here. I got the defense break again, so she's basically already dead. I'm going to try not to use any non-attack skills for us this fight, even though I have the skill 2 there. It will end up putting a bomb. We hope Specteni, she can't get stunned because we have immunity. This will almost finish the fight, and then now I can transform. And once I transform on Tamarin, it's going to silence her, I do believe. It tried to silence her, but from here, I'm just going to skill 1, get the dual attack, and it should be over, and it's over. So that's it. That's a fight. 3 supports and a damage dealer, preferably Spectre Saber. It takes a lot of RNG out. If you have Arby, you can make it work, but that is the end of this chapter. So those of you guys that are pushing ahead, I'm going to go back to the Orbis Guide and talk about the characters you can take from the Selector. Sadly, I can't show it because, again, I am in a position where I'm a little screwed over with that. But there's also the next stage that's going to allow you to get your Mercedes upgraded. Mercedes, again, you could use for some of the PvE content, but again, right here, Guild War, then once you clear all these missions, you just have to enhance equipment 5 times, complete arena, you guys know how to do that. You get these selectors. The number 1 pick from the Selector is going to be Mortellix. So I'm going to go into the journal and show 3 characters. I'm going to show the 3 artifacts. So the first character, again, if you search through here, all heroes, go to grade, and it is Mortellix. This is going to be the number 1 pick. He has a passive that prevents any counterattacks from happening on the board except for himself, so he can still counter, and his passive has just innate 20% chance to counterattack. If he does counter, he's going to end up putting up a barrier, and he does insane damage. A skill 3 does absolutely insane damage, and if he has more HP than the opponent, he's going to put fear on them, which gives him a 40% chance not to be able to take a turn, which is fantastic. So everything about him, he's by far the best character. Now the next 2 characters I would take, second option, if you already have more, I would tell you to go ahead and grab Politis. It's a solid PvP specific unit. It cuts combat readiness boost by 50%, so it cuts it in half. So this allows you to prevent your opponent from getting too many extra turns. She's a great counter pick, and she can be used into or as a cleave style unit. She fits into every playstyle. She goes through different periods where she's super strong and then not as strong and then super strong. So she's a good character to have on your account, and she does not have a story summon banner, so a little bit annoying to get her. Now, say you have more and you have Politis, the next option is going to be Shu. So Shu is good against the right side Hell boss in Labyrinth. So the Nightmare, Hell Raid, whatever you want to call it, she performs very well there. She's just a solid unit. You can also use her in Fire Expedition with Lorena or instead of Lorena if you'd like. But overall, she's a pretty solid character. She's not great for PvP anymore, but does have some PvE use case. And other than that, all the other characters, if there's a character you like, just take it. Okay, it doesn't matter. Mort's the best option. Politis second best, and from there, you can just kind of take whatever you want, but Shu would be my 3rd pick. So that is that. Now the artifact selector. The artifact selector is awful. Okay, the only artifacts I would suggest getting from that is do some research, see if you have a character. There's certain ones that are okay on specific characters. Otherwise, the 2 go-to are going to be the Rise of the Monarch. This one's on there. This is very solid, especially of Imperial Ilanav. Fantastic artifact on her. Gives a barrier to your team every single turn and increase the defense of all your teammates. Fantastic. Next up, you're going to have Double-Edged Crescent. So if I can find that here, Double-Edged Crescent. Not many characters is super good on, but it's a fun artifact for some of your thief characters potentially. So it's the second most usable one. The other ones within that, though, it basically the left side of the Selector is the only ones worth picking. There's 4 different options there. One of them is Unseen Observer. If you have Moonlight Politis, it's okay. That's the only character I would even consider putting that on. If I can see an Unseen Observer, you gain souls if using an attack skill. Other than that, that's it. Those 3 artifacts I think are the core, but those left side options, whenever you open it up, it'll have 4 different ones on the far left side of the picks. You can take any one of those. So now, You guys have beaten chapter 3. If we go back to the Orbis guide, it's going to start putting us into the chapter 4 mission. So it's going to be past this. You have to start going through chapter 4. You can utilize the same team you're going through chapter 3. Again, you want to change your free spirit tier out for something. This is your chance to try out maybe one of the units that you got that you think is cool. Maybe it's an ML5. Lone Crescent Bologna, it would be fantastic. Moonlight Landy would be fantastic. Green Celine. Wukong, Mortal Wukong would work. There's a bunch of characters you could switch in, but this, again, your chance to try out some stuff. But you can go through and start doing some of these challenges, but I'm going to wait till next part of the guide before we start tackling chapter 4. What we're going to do now is start building up our Expedition level 3 teams. Now, the first thing I want you guys to do, you're going to have to take a pause on this video and go, and I have a crafting guide in the description. The best way I can try to teach crafting is through that guide. It's a long process. I have you guys craft 10,000 materials as a start, and then you can watch it again, do another 10,000. It might take you multiple watch throughs for you to get it. This is the hardest part of the game, and the most important part of the game long term is learning how to get gear yourself that isn't just game provided. So that is a skill set you will learn. You will get better at it. You will get unlucky sometimes. Other times you'll get super lucky. Speed is very important. We will be crafting Wyvern for this. So what we're going to do, what I'm going to have you guys do, is go into your steel workshop, and I want you to follow that guide and do at least 10,000 crafting materials. You can do more before you come back, but we're going to take some of that gear and I'm going to show you what the character builds are going to look like. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and build them up. One of the other things is don't stress if you do not get a lot of gear, because we should be sitting on around 7,000 conquest points, somewhere around there. So you guys will probably have more than me, but we'll buy some of the gear within this to kind of mitigate the need for all of the different pieces that we're going for within the crafting. So don't stress if you didn't get anything. I'll show you guys how to just build your characters off this to the best of our ability. So go ahead, click that link down in the description, do your crafting. I'm going to do mine right now, and I'll come back and show everything. I'll see you all in a minute. By a minute, I mean an hour and a half. But I'll be back. All right, so once you are done with your crafting session, you come into the shop, and we have the Conquest Point shop. As you see, I'm still having some internet issues. Guys, this is brutal. I don't know what to do about this. I think I might have to take this account and put it on the other, the actual PC client, but hopefully you guys aren't having the same problems. I don't know if it's my internet or what exactly it is, but you're going to come in here and you're going to go to the Conquest Point shop. So from here, one of the best sets you can buy early on is going to be this ring, this neck, and this boot. It's 720 per piece. You're going to end up using these on some of your PvP characters, but for right now, we're going to set up our initial PvE with them. So I'm going to go ahead and buy all 3. And then we can buy 1 additional piece as well. This is going to be used on our Lilka and our Camilla, okay? Our Lilka and Camilla, we want to have them as bulky as possible while still having around 80-ish effectiveness. So we need 1 piece as speed and effectiveness. Either the chest is fine, the sword's fine. Any of these are perfectly fine. You can buy whichever one you want. I think, personally, the sword probably would be the best. Let's just go ahead with the sword for this. So I'm going to go and buy it. And then we're going to lock it. And then now we're going to go build up our last 2 characters. I'm going to show each build as we go through along the way. So we went ahead and built up our Sirmia. The thing is, after your crafting session, go through and all of the free gear the game gives you, we're going to start utilizing it. Okay, so you got all these free speed sets, you got the free destruction sets. We're going to get even more free sets, and they are already upgraded. So if you have any pieces to try to get your characters to look as close to mine as possible, that's the goal. They don't have to be exactly the same. So my Sirmia only has 80 crit chance. It'll work just fine. The exclusive equipment is going to be 25% chance to grab an extra attack when I skill 1, so it means when I dual attack, I can attack again. And with border, I have the artifact border coin. You can use whichever artifact you want, preferably not Daydream Joker, but Daydream Joker is nice for hunts. The thing is, Sirmia will be used in some of our hunt teams, so you can slap a Daydream Joker on her depending on what you're fighting, but Daydream Joker does not work in Expeditions, so keep that in mind. But overall, artifact doesn't matter a whole lot. Raz went ahead and put the free gear that we just got from our Chapter 3 going through, we got all of this stuff for free, and then we have these boots. I did end up putting them on speed boots. You would ideally like to do this if you want to go craft some golem. As you see, these boots are not good at all, but they work. No wasted stat on them. 66 equipment score, don't care. Raz will be fine. Next up, all these characters are the same cigarette. Our Brie gets back on the gear is properly on because I moved it off of him for Raz to beat that stage. Angelica, we can take out a Grace of Growth at any time, but for right now, it's fine. Then we have Vivian. I actually may end up using these Angelica boots on somebody like this gear set isn't the worst for some kind of extra PvE character. Now, our Vivian, we went ahead and put her on speed set, so 224 speed. She will work just fine for everything we want to use her for. Next up, free switch here is still on the free early game gear. Don't need to change anything with that. Commander Lorena, I went ahead and put her on destruction, plus one of those speed sets that we got. Any of the extra gear you guys crafted, you can try to fit into any of these extra characters or other things that you want to build on top of it. Next up, we have Spectre Tenebria. Destina is just on free golem gear that the game gave us as well. Spec 10A is on the free gear from early on. We can change her to speed boots eventually, but I'm not too pressed to do that. Furious is still barely upgraded, but he works for Wyvern. Wyvern fails like 1 in 40 runs, and that's perfectly fine with me. Loka. So this is one of the first characters we want to get built up if you are doing Water Expedition. If you don't have Water Expedition right now, you don't have to worry about it. So depending on when you watch this, but during the current rotation, there is Water Expedition. So with Loka, we want her to have effectiveness and we want her to have HP. Okay, with leaving her at level 50, her job is not to do damage. It's just to try to put debuffs on and get our backline, which is going to be Vivian, doing some damage. So I'm going to go ahead and put this on. And for the boots, you just want a pair of speed boots. That'll work just fine. With speed boost early on, this is a terrible boot to upgrade, but just for convenience sake of getting this video out, I'm just going to go ahead and slap this in. Actually, doesn't look like didn't roll that bad, actually. I can change the crit chance over to defense percent. It's like 90 equipment score. It'll work. So that is the boot on her. Preferably would have effectiveness on it, but this, I'm going to go ahead and take it to +9 for now. See if it goes speed. It went all speed. Oh my goodness, go 25. What in the universe? 21! So that's why you buy the, whatever. I wasn't going to upgrade this, but 21 speeder. Happens every account, dude. Okay, so there's a 21 speeder. Could have been 25, dude. That was exciting. So this is a piece. If it doesn't roll speed, it's fine. That just means I need to move this piece off of her onto like Death Dealer Ray or someone for PvP eventually. But for PvE right now, it'll work. And then this necklace having HP percent, we're going to go ahead and take it to at least +12 just to get it up and running. 32% attack. That is completely unnecessary and useless at the same time. Maybe 2-3 characters could potentially use it, but the low speed with that doesn't really make a lot of sense. So there's a usable Loka. All right, if you want to eventually 6-star her, you can. It'll add some survivability. See, I only have 789 bulk, and she does have some crit stats. All her stats are everywhere. The biggest thing is just the effectiveness, though. As long as you have that, you're good. Then the same idea with Camilla. So with Camilla, we would like to have an effectiveness ring or get effectiveness on other pieces. However you are able to do it, that is fine. So I'm going to go ahead with effectiveness and see if we have anything. This is hit set, but we also have the other piece we just bought. I'd rather use this. But I do not believe I have any other hit set pieces that are openly available. We did buy these boots, actually. So there we go. So with these boots and the sword, that's why we bought 4 pieces. I'm stupid. We have already 52 effectiveness. We're almost there. We don't have to do a whole lot else. So we would preferably like to have an HP ring here with her being level 50. So if you are able to get one, you can also go into the guild shop. That one has an attack percent ring, or not guild shop, sorry, the conquest point shop. Otherwise, you can try to craft one. As you see, this one isn't very good at all, but it will do the job. The thing is, PvE gear does not really matter. Now, for the necklace, we would like to have speed set with HP, which I believe we do not have one. We only have the crit damage one. So now from here, we just take any chest piece, preferably with effectiveness, but it doesn't look like we have any with effectiveness. No, this is all the free gear gave us. So I'm just going to take the 2 pieces from Angelica. That'll work just fine. And what I need to do from here is grab one more piece, or whatever you guys need to grab, you can grab from in the shop. In terms of her artifact, it does not really matter. Sepulchrum might not be bad on her. Just to, at the beginning, just to make sure she stays alive better. So I'm going to use Sepulchrum. You can use whichever one, though. Again, it doesn't matter. I am going to enhance this a little bit, because the thing with this is, if you want to put the resources into Loka, Camilla's the more important one, but Loka or Camilla to 6-star them, the better, but don't build them on damage. I don't think it's ever worth it. That puts her at 68 effectiveness, and once we go upgrade these 2 pieces here, she probably will be at the cap that we want. So let's go ahead and slap these in, and there is no effectiveness extra, a bunch of effectors, that sucks. And then this one has the same chance, so I'm going to go ahead, I'll use my powder first for this one, and then bang, there's some effectiveness. She's so close to being exactly where we want her. That didn't hit it. That's fine. I want speed at least. So now we need to finish the speed set. One thing with Camilla, though, is you would actually ideally like to have her a bit slower. So we may end up taking that boot and putting it on her Death Dealer Ray. You're going to be changing your gear up constantly, but I at least want to get you your basic level 3 teams started. So right now we're going to go back to the Conquest Point shop, and there is a speed set necklace with HP. So with the speed set necklace with HP, we can go ahead and buy it. I'm going to lock it, and it still leaves us with 3,000 extra. So again, if there's any piece in here that you want to go in and buy, you can. Now I'm going to go in, I'm going to upgrade this. I can't believe that thing hit 21 speed. That's hilarious. So go ahead and upgrade this and bang 15 speed on that. Not bad. Okay, so now the problem with Camilla. During the times that it is the Dark Expedition, you want your Camilla to be a little bit slower. The reason is because it strips all of your buffs off and removes debuffs. So your goal is to have your Camilla around 175 speed. And as you look here, our current build is going to be much, much faster than 175. So if I go ahead over to the necklace, put this on, we're at 223. We have two options from here in order to slow her down. We can break the speed set. So if you would like to come here, see if you have any HP rings that aren't being used or something, we can put that on. That drops us to 199. We're still way too fast. The easiest thing to do is to come in and put a boot on her that doesn't have speed. So either of these could end up working. The problem, again, this has 15 speed, a little too much for us. So we can now do both. Say we want to break the speed set. Here we can go in and put this piece on as well. That puts us at 154. So you got to kind of manage and figure out where you can get the extra speed or not get the speed from. But that is only important on autoing the Dark Expedition team. You want 175-ish would be perfect. So if I could find a way to get rid of any more speed here, that would be ideal. But I believe every piece has speed on it for right now. So that means we may need to go craft something. Anything you buy from the arena shop is also going to have speed pretty much. The other thing we could do is try to change the necklace to something that doesn't have as much speed. So we could break Loka set and steal that. Otherwise, I believe all of these have speed as well. They do. Every single piece the game gives you has speed. So trying to speed tune early on, very, very hard. So I'm going to go ahead and put that boot on. That gives her a ton of extra bulk though. So I'm going to go ahead and enhance this up to plus 15. It did break the hit set. So we need to look at what our total effectiveness currently is as well. So we're at 50 effectiveness. That's also not quite enough. So from here, we would try to go get an effectiveness ring. Now, with the effectiveness ring, one of the things you can do is you have blue boxes. This is a way you can target specific gear. So for this, we can go in and say we want effectiveness ring. Let's go ahead and try for 2 of them. So now with this, one of the things you need to make sure you do is have the extraction materials. So we're going to have to craft some of these, see if we get an effectiveness ring to begin with. That'd be fantastic. Or if we did not get one within this, we're going to upgrade that. There's one right there, and it's hit set. Would be keeping ones with speed, but ideally I would get one without speed. So maybe a hit set one with other stats. I may end up just upgrading a complete piece of garbage in order to get her build up and running. One of the things with Epic 7 is like this piece right here. I might just upgrade this and it'll end up being the piece that we need. So I'm going to save anything with speed again, or anything that's rolled really high. None of these are good. Any flat set's pretty much dead, but if it has speed, it has a chance. So let's go ahead and extract all this. And I'm just going to work with this one. So I crafted one. Maybe wait to use Ubu boxes until you craft. I just didn't extract enough rings, so I was going to have to do that anyway. But we will end up using them. Anything you do like that in Epic 7, you're going to end up using it eventually. So I do not feel bad if you make the same mistake. So let's go back in to the Camilla, and I'm going to just upgrade her ring a little bit. So go in here, and our Camilla is 187 speed, and this ring has 6, so this is going to guarantee drop her down to 181 by putting her on this, and that is effectiveness. So from here, she has okay bulk, it'll work. We can also upgrade these pieces just to finish up the bulk. The problem is it's probably going to roll speed now. Yep, there it is. But it's going to take some playing around with, okay? You can still utilize this team just fine, but in order to capitalize on everything, and as you see here, this broke the speed set. Actually, this might be perfect. I didn't realize I broke the speed set. So this, I want to upgrade it just to +9. Again, if you have a junk piece of gear, you don't have to take it all the way. So this puts us at decent bulk, and we're at 87 effectiveness. That's perfect. And 156 speed. So it's a little too slow. So if we could find a helmet or a chest that has higher speed now, we're in a great spot. So we don't have the speed set finished. Another thing you could do is go speed set boot that doesn't have speed on it. I know this is a disaster part of the guide, but just try, as you see, all of our boots are speed set. If we had like an HP boot, we could try to use that as well, and that would give us at least a speed set, which is put us almost at the perfect spot. But let's try to find a chest with higher speed here. The fastest one we have is 9, 9, 5. So yeah, we do not have an additional chest that we could switch over, but this Camilla will probably work as long as she is faster than our Sirmia. Barely is. Okay, so we're gonna have to do a little bit of work on her. That is perfectly fine. You guys will be in the same spot trying to build up, but the build I have on her will work, okay? You will not have to do anything, and that is only for Dark Expo. You would like her to be faster for everything else, but she will end up being usable no matter what, as long as you have the gear upgraded on her. And again, if she is dying and you see she's dying, just 6-star. It costs nothing, 6-star character. And the same goes for Loka if you're doing Water Expedition. So now that this is done, Loka you can do your upgrades on, but that's all your characters for the expedition teams. Your Commander Lorena, again, go make sure you are leveling up all of her awakenings. And if you guys want to continue to craft and continue to work on your characters and get to certain points, that would be perfect. I told you the stat lines, and otherwise that's the only character that I'm not too happy how it turned out, but that's because I'm trying to do it live recording. I could pause and go spend an hour to do it, but I'm trying to get this episode out, so I told you what you need to work on. Go work on that. Again, I'm going to go to the expedition, show the expedition teams one more time, and then I'm going to send you guys off on your own. If you guys want to work ahead with Abyss, go to I'm Sue's channel for Abyss clears. It gives free-to-play teams that you could use. It'll make your life a lot easier within Abyss. Otherwise, other content creators, if you want to get into Guild Wars, go check out VicTune. And then for general PvE, trying to get into a higher tier PvE, go over and check out Tristan Wolf. Those are 3 fantastic creators, each specializing in specific content that I could easily send you guys over to continue progressing your accounts. Now, the teams here, I did change up one team that I'll have to switch back, which is going to be the Dark team. So the Dark team, I'm going to go and put them all back on. It's only 2 characters we have to switch out. And there you go. So this will be your Expedition Level 3 teams. Again, you don't have to do this right now, but you will need to come back here to get them. So here's the Fire team. This will work fine. Then you have the Water team, which the Water team is not this either. I did do Water. Hold on, let me switch this to very sloppy part of the guide. I apologize. But this is your Water team, so this will work. And then next up, we have our Grass team. Level up your Mercedes. Just put another one of those either destruction or speed sets on her. It will work out whichever one you do. And again, I'll show Mercedes thing in a second. You need to transform her, which is just beating the next stage. Then next up is Light. And again, you don't have to use Mercedes. You can use any dual hitting character. So Green Villager, Arbor Villager, Wukong, anything that hits multiple targets on their skill 1 would be perfect. And Fire Kayron could be used there. Actually, Fire Kayron, turn his skills off. Actually, you leave him on. But Fire Kayron works well in Grass Expo. So Light is going to just be 3 damage dealers, or 2 damage dealers, a support, and then a tank. That will work. And then your Dark is just this. Super easy. All these teams will clear to get you the 350. You might have to manual a couple of them and use your soul burns. Otherwise, once you do that once, you just do an expedition, set it to open recruitment, and then let other people finish it. And if you want to, if you don't have things, you just go in and enter someone else's expedition and just hit it auto. Who cares how much damage you do? It will get finished. Don't stress about making insane expedition teams. It is not worth it unless you are going for the missions. Now, the last thing I want you guys to do is go into your story and clear that last mission. Again, work on Commander Lorena, get her boosted up. She's going to hard carry you for everything. So this is the last mission here. Once you beat this, you get the artifact for Mercedes and the ability to transform her. I believe she just auto transforms once you beat the stage. So if you are going to use Mercedes, make sure to do this first or she won't feel good. And that's all I have for this episode. Again, sorry for taking so long. Trying to rush it out a little bit. I'm sure you guys can notice. I'm sorry. Monday is the earliest I can do the next episode because I have to get that mission done. So I hope to see you guys then. Peace out.